Hey, it's Drodio coming to you from cold California. It's 4:45 in the morning and I couldn't sleep. And what do you do as a CEO of an AI startup when you can't sleep? You use AI to rewrite a white paper. So that's what I'm going to show you how I do today, how I use Storytel to rewrite this white paper. So this white paper has it's been great. It also contains old versions of our technology. Our technology is changing so quickly. And so what I've done is I've literally just copied all the text in the white paper and then I've ported it over to my Storytel project. So this is a marketing and product marketing project, and this project contains a number of assets. So I'll show you in here the assets that we have. I can toggle between a list and a card view. Over here on the right, the card view gives me more fidelity, and we can see that I've got some audio files in here, I've got some text files, I've got some PNGs, I've got some PDFs, I've got all sorts of different data types in here, which is the beauty of Storytel. You can just kind of like throw the kitchen sink in, and then you can organize it as much as you'd like. So you can see that there are some labels here. So these are all help docs, for example, and I also have Storytel metrics, competitor data, linear data, marketing material, change logs, podcast data, office hour data. We can see these are all the labels that I have in Storytel. So labels are just ways to create data fences around assets. So I can go to this label section, I can see all the labels. So what I did was I said, I copied the text. In fact, I'll just do it again so you can see it. I'm going to recreate this prompt that I just wrote to do this. And so what I did is I used the upload icon to paste. This is a paste. And I pasted in the text from the white paper. So this is very easy to get data in by pasting text. And then I called it March 2025 white paper. And then I just uploaded that content. So that's a way to create an asset in Storytel that I can then work with. And then once I had done that, I just use the @ key. So the @ key lets you @mention content. And then when you do that, you can see that there is a box that pops up. And that box is the ability to add knowledge to scope. So you're pointing Storytel, you're orienting Storytel specifically at one of the assets. You can see I've got 142 assets here. Right now I'm chatting with all of them. But when I @mention the white paper, I'll just start typing white paper, and you can see that as you start typing, it narrows down the list of things that match. So now I can choose this 2025 white paper, and then I will just pop in the rest of the text. It's an old version of the Storytel white paper. So I'm telling Storytel to go learn all about Storytel's newest capabilities at this capabilities link. Now I just did another video in this series where I showed you how I updated that capabilities page, and I'll go ahead and just show it to you here. And this is a page that has just a lot of deep information about how Storytel works. And I use this page to create other documents. So this is like the source document that I use that has the most up-to-date technical capability detail about what Storytel can do. It also has a number of use cases as well. So there's use cases down here about how different types of users use Storytel, how sales teams use Storytel, how marketing teams use Storytel, how product teams use Storytel, etc. So just, lots, customer success teams, so lots of different use case examples. And so this is my my source of truth effectively. And then I'm able to use that in prompts. And so I'm saying to Storytel, hey, go learn about yourself, because by default, Storytel it's not very self-aware, although we're working on that. But right now it's not very self-aware, so it doesn't even know what it's capable of. And so Storytel will learn about itself and then rewrite this white paper with its newest capabilities. Now we can see that when I @mentioned this white paper, it went from 143 sources down to 1 source. And when I click on this, I can see in the right panel the sources, and I can see the source that I'm working with is just one of all of these. Now, if I want to, I could select all of them. And what I've done is I've said you can use anything you find relevant in project knowledge, but focus on capabilities as the text to use. Okay, so that was the prompt that I wrote. And now I've got an updated white paper. So I'm going to work with this. I'm going to take this. I'll be stopping and starting the video as I do it. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to read it. I'm going to see what I think about it, and I'm going to compare it to the old one. And by the way, one really nice way to check to see what's changed is to use a tool called Diff Checker. Now you can just go to diffchecker.com. I use the desktop app, but we can see here that I've got the original text on the left side, and now I'm going to paste the changed text in on the right side, and we'll see how it is. And to copy it, I'm just going to go down here. I'm going to say copy. When you say copy, by the way, you can copy as markdown if you want to, or you can just, it'll by default just copy the text normally. There's also, you can, when you say copy, you can also select all, which can be useful, and then you can just say copy right here if you want to. But I'm just going to copy it like this. Now I can see the differences. I can see what's been added. I can see what's been taken out. And so it's a nice way to just be able to check to see differences. I mean, because this is all red and this is all green, you can see that basically Storytel rewrote the entire thing, which is exciting. I can't wait to see what the differences are here. I can also do things where, for example, I want to update this positioning a bit. And so I can copy this and I can say chat with. So I'm going to chat with this selected text. When I click that, it puts the selected text down here in my chat bar. And let me do something real fast. So again, I'm going to pull from this document, which is the document that I made in the last video, the capabilities document. So I'm just copying some text from here. So saying, I'm talking about this here. I'm saying update the way you describe Storytel based on the text below. Give me 5 more appropriate one-sentence versions. And I'm pulling in from that capabilities document the way that we describe Storytel in that capabilities document. Let me just pause until we get back. And I mean, I love all the things that it's saying here, so I'm just going to weave this into the answer. So now I'm starting to take some of the messaging from the answer over here. For example, I just grabbed this, and I'm starting to weave that into this new version of the white paper. Basically just taking it section by section. So I'm taking the executive summary, and I'm putting the new one at top here, and then I'm basically just editing section by section, and then I'll decide also if I want to change some of these sections. You can also use Storytel to go out and search the web. So for example, I remember this number being around 300, but I'm just going to see what Storytel says. And to go out and search the web, I just tell it to go out and search the web. So even though I'm working with internal data here, I also have web turned on. We can see over here, web search is turned on, which means that if I ask it to break out of my data asset list here, it will also go ahead and search the web. As it's doing this, I'm able to see what it's doing. So I can see that it's done it did some thinking, it did 3 web searches, and so I can see the web searches that it did here. So yeah, like 367 software applications, 660 SaaS applications. Storytel gives me the citations. I can click on these to go out to the web to see them. At Storytel, we also believe that the data warehouse is not the right approach. 85 to 90% of data doesn't live in a data warehouse. It never will. And so I'm just using Storytel to help me make that argument. And I love the dark data angle here. It's a really nice way to describe the problem. There's all this data in the enterprise. It's never analyzed, never will be put into a data warehouse. It's all just dark, and it can't be used to create business value. So I'm going to start to work some of this thinking into the white paper. Okay, so I've edited the executive summary. I've added some information about the dark data problem, and now I'm ready to continue. So I'm going to go back to Storytel. There's a timeline here where I can click to go to various prompts that I've written. So I'm going to go back up to the top, and I'm going to keep reading and editing. Okay, so it's taking me about an hour and a half, and I have really been relying on the output from Storytel, and I've also grabbed some screenshots from our platform. I grabbed from the capabilities document that I had made a number of case studies, or I guess use case examples, because they're not specific to users, but they're generalized about how different personas, teams and personas can use Storytel, and I've included those as a new page in our white paper. So this is now ready to ship, and it was a wonderful morning project. Thanks for riding along with me and really getting a chance to see how we're using Storytel to help build Storytel.